I'm Nate Moore, head football coach of the Madison Tigers.
I'm Spider Miller from East Canton, Ohio.
This is former McKinley Bulldog and Browns tight end Harold Fannin Jr. High school football on 1480 WHBC.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this Wednesday edition of Spotlight here on 1480 WHBC. Don't forget, we are live right now on Facebook. We are live on our YouTube channel. All you have to do is go to YouTube and search 1480 WHBC. And also, you'll be able to find all of our Spotlight interviews at WHBC.com as well. Today, we are talking Seniors Helping Seniors. And Jim Benson is the owner and president, and we have him in studio with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
Good
Thanks
to
for having
see
me
you
this morning.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. So let's introduce you, first of all, to our listeners and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, so I'm from the Canton area, graduated from Glen Oak High School. I've been in corporate America for 33 years, and I was just looking for something different. And so, at the same time, my mom was required in-home care because she had dementia and diabetes and a lot of other issues. And we were just, struggling with her care. There was a lot of inconsistency and just, a lot of things going on with the younger caregivers that were coming in that just, were there for a paycheck. You know what I mean? They weren't there really to connect with my mom, and the reliability and just, in the industry, there's an 80% turnover rate in caregivers, which meant for my mom with dementia, every week it seemed like a new person was coming in, which was not good.
No, that's hard.
Sister and I are trying to work. All of this is going on. So I really got frustrated with the quality of in-home care. And so I was trying to get out of corporate America, looking for more of a purpose in my life. That was going on. And then I just happened to stumble upon, I was looking at franchises, and I just happened to stumble on Seniors Helping Seniors. And it was just like it clicked. That was what I was going to do. I went home and told my wife, and she was all in. And so we started it about a year ago. And so that's just kind of been the journey we've been on. And so far we're loving it.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, and what a unique and much needed thing for you to say, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I can see why, you attach to it right away because it's pretty awesome. So explain what it is, Seniors Helping Seniors.
Yeah, so what we do is we go into homes, and I know you were just talking about speed dating for seniors. This is a little bit different, but it's kind of like what sometimes I compare it to Bumble. I don't know if you ever heard of the Bumble app.
Yes.
Where you go in and you put a lot of information about yourself, and other people do the same thing, what you like, your personalities, and they match you with somebody that can be your friend. Well, we try and do the same thing where we get to really know our caregivers as they go through the process of onboarding. Not only, are they, have they had a security background check? What's their experience look like? Check their references. But we also go ask them a lot of questions like, what do you like to do in your free time? We get to know them, and we do the same thing with our clients. My wife and I will go into the homes of the senior who needs a little more help. Ask them a lot of questions to find out, do they like gardening? What did they do for a living, before they retired? And then what she spends a lot of time, my wife does, trying to figure out which caregiver makes the best sense. Because what we wanted to be is like getting a little help from a friend. And so what we do is once we match them with a caregiver, we do things like companionship, socialization, a lot of transportation. So seniors today, especially if they can't drive, they need help getting to doctor's appointments. And there are some services in the area, but sometimes it's pretty hard to navigate all of that. And so our caregiver will come, pick them up, take them to the doctor's office, stay with them while they're there. I even did it before where I would go back with the client into the office, into the waiting or into the room with the doctor, and I would FaceTime their family. So they may be in North Carolina and one was in Florida, but and they were all able to see their dad's doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
So we do things like that. Then we'll take them home from the doctor's appointment, maybe stop at the grocery store, get something, come home, help them make them a meal. So we do housekeeping, personal care if they need it. Also overnight stays, 24-hour care. We do specialized dementia because, Alzheimer's care is something you need to really understand and be able to, help divert them and get them in a good place. And then we do a lot of supporting folks that just are coming back from surgery. So maybe they're in a rehab facility, and these days the rehab facilities, insurance won't let you stay there long.
Not
right?
long, no.
So they send you home, and sometimes we have folks that can't even still walk, right? And so they need, and they have family members who work or family members live out of town, so they need a little extra help for us to come in and help them with everything they need to do, get them fed, medication reminders, all of those kind of things.
And I think one of the important things about seniors helping seniors is that this is a person that the client will recognize and maybe even get attached to and become friends with, and then that leads to a trust factor, right?
Oh yeah, big time. We really take a lot of time in making sure the personalities are right. And because of what happened with me and my mom, I try to make sure that our client always has the same caregiver. Now, we have a backup, right? Because we know that someone's going to get sick or need to take a vacation. And what we do is we don't even charge the client. We send the backup, because we do them in teams. So the backup will go and shadow a shift and meet the individual, meet the senior in need. And so that way, if they ever have to work, they know them,
Yeah.
And so we take a lot of pride in making sure that we don't have that revolving door that, happens in other cases.
What's the reaction when people find you, and realize what you do?
It's funny. We get a lot of calls from people that were with other agencies and just like, I'm so happy we found you guys. My mom absolutely loves you. And our caregivers too. They love this job. We have one caregiver, Shay. She remember when the World Series went into 18 innings?
Yes.
So she was there watching one of her clients, helping them until like 9 o'clock. And then she was off. She clocked out. She stayed with Bud all the way till the end of the game. It was unbelievable. It was
That's great stuff.
just because they're friends and they were having fun watching the World
Yeah.
Series. And that's what we want. We want it to really feel, like a friend is there. We don't have them come in scrubs, wearing a badge and a name tag. It's more like they dress, professionally and, but casual. And so it's just like someone's there to be your friend.
Yeah.
And, they go on walks and, try and help them with exercises. Really whatever, they need to kind of brighten their mood, we work on.
And we'll talk about the services here coming up, but let's talk about the actual caregivers, because how do you recruit them and find the ones that fit exactly with your company?
Yeah, that's our hardest part. So every day we probably get, 5 to 7 calls or leads that are people that are looking for help. And our hardest part is just hiring enough good caregivers. And we're really picky, not to scare anyone off, but if we don't feel comfortable, we called it our golden rule. If we don't feel comfortable with that individual going to take care of my mom or my wife's mom, we don't hire them. And so, we really look to make sure that they have, experience, and that could be life experience, could also be healthcare experience, but relevant experience with taking care of seniors and really show a love for seniors. Big hearts, and just, you can kind of tell when you talk to someone and you ask all the questions. And then we spend a lot of time doing, a lot of background checks. They have to get fingerprinted, background check. If all of that comes through, then, again, we know a lot about that individual, and that's how we match them. But hiring is probably our biggest bottleneck. And so hopefully today, there's some seniors out there listening that, I would love to do that. And because we are hiring seniors, it's not like you got to work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You tell us when you're available. Maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays you have the grandkids and you don't want to, work. That's great. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you tell us maybe you'll work 10 to 2. We have a lot of seniors out there that schedule might work for them. And so, the other thing we do is you tell us where you live and how far you're willing to drive. Let's say you're only willing to drive 10 miles from your radius from your home. Well, we have a system where we can do that, and we can find, the days of week that you're available, the times of day, the distance from your house, and it suggests, who, and then it also looks at all of those characteristics like, do you like gardening, all of that, and it helps us pick out who would be the best caregivers. And so, we try to make it super flexible for our caregivers and really try and find them a good client.
And there's levels, right? Because some of them, like you were saying, will have some kind of medical background and some don't.
Right. And also, it's not just levels, but also, what it is that the client needs. If they need personal grooming and, maybe helping with a Hoyer lift or something like that, we're not going to send our 82-year-old caregiver for that, right?
Right.
But, if our 82-year-old caregiver would be great if we have a senior who's just family's all out of town and they're lonely and they want some companionship. Yeah. So we really try and make sure, and we call it seniors and hopefully some people don't get upset with me, but we categorize over 40 as a senior. So we use the word senior very loosely.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Join the club. Come on.
Exactly. So, because sometimes we'll need those younger clients if there is, like a veteran who needs more help even getting out of bed and those kind of things. You'll need more strength for that. So we really kind of compare, the personalities along with the needs and distance. A lot of things, it's a balancing act all the time, but we do a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and talk more with Jim Benson, owner and president of Seniors Helping Seniors, about what they have to offer. We'll do that here on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
At Seniors Helping Seniors of Canton Akron, we match active, caring seniors with older adults who need a helping hand. Whether it's companionship, light housekeeping, rides to appointments, or just a friendly face. If you are searching for truly reliable, compassionate care for yourself or a loved one, call Seniors Helping Seniors Canton Akron at 330-806-8044 or visit CantonAkronSHS.com to learn more.
Are you ready to accelerate towards your dreams with a new car, ATV, boat, or some extra cash for personal needs? This is Tiffany Kim, Banking Center Manager at the Commercial and Savings Bank, here to help you fund your next adventure. Our team of experts is committed to finding the right solution for you with competitive rates, flexible terms, and personalized service. Visit csb1.com to apply online or give us a call at 800-654-9015 to speak with a loan specialist and discover the CSB Advantage. The Commercial and Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Saving money is awesome. Saving money on items you actually use? Fantastic. Hi, Paul White for the Half Off and Out By store in Louisville. If you think you'll find the same low prices, huge variety, or great customer service at any other store, you'd be wrong. Stop into our store in Louisville and see what great deals we have. Follow us on our Facebook page at Half Off Store to see super specials. Why pay full price? Come in and experience the Half Off and Out By store in Louisville, next to the Medicine Center Pharmacy.
Which song makes you think of your life in the 70s?
We are family.
Any of them? Or maybe all of them? Relive those moments in music as Larry Hackenberg and Jennifer Tassan present The Music Time Machine, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on 1480 WHBC.
Are you a caterer, an event venue owner, or just looking for interesting finds to add to your home? Then listen up, Northeast Ohio. Event Source, your premier event rental company, trusted for over 45 years of world-class service, is bringing back the big sale. We're clearing out 4 warehouses of discontinued rental inventory to make room for new and exciting items. This is your chance to save big and grab incredible deals. We're talking everything from fine linens and elegant dishware to beautiful furniture, even patio heaters. We have the quality items you've come to expect from Event Source. Individuals and companies alike will benefit. But mark your calendar. This huge sale is for 3 days only, November 12th, 13th, and 14th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us at the Event Source Warehouse at 6001 Towpath Drive in Valley View. That's just an hour north of Canton. Don't miss the Event Source Big Sale, November 12th through the 14th. We'll see you there.
Carpet Time's a place to buy. Go there today. You'll cheer and rave at the money you save. Buy at Carpet Time.
Hi, I'm Joel Primack. At Carpet Time, we don't make the flooring we sell. We just make the flooring beautiful in your home. Remember, we're not just carpet. We're vinyl, ceramic tile, wood, and laminate flooring, and much more. Visit us at Lincoln Way East at Genoa Road in Perry, or Belton Village Street across from Red Lobster. And remember, I discount every floor every day. You'll get my personal guarantee.
Buy at Carpet Time.
Visit us at our Perry Maslin store on the corner of Lincoln Way and Genoa, or at our Belton Village store across from Red Lobster. Like us on Facebook or online at carpettime.com. One word, one T, that's carpettime.com.
Carpet Time's a place to buy. Go.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And welcome back. Pam Cook with you this morning on Spotlight, live on Facebook and live on our YouTube channel, and you can also check this out at WHBC.com later on today. I am with Jim Benson, who is the owner and president of Seniors Helping Seniors. We've been talking about how he got into this very creative, I might add, business, but just something that, the need has to be pretty great. I would imagine in the last year, you've just really gained a lot of customers, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, we're getting 5 to 7 leads a day of people who need our help. And we just, I forget what they say, it's like 10,000 people every day turn over 65. Wow. So especially here in Stark County, we are an older population. And, the need is just here in this market like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. And so we're really trying to hire more and more caregivers in order to be able to help folks. And
speaking of Stark County, what areas do you serve besides Stark County?
So Stark, and then we can also go south into Tuscarawas, and then Summit County and Portage County.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So for folks who are listening, if you were wondering, that's a good opportunity for you to get more information. So we were talking about the caregivers themselves and, how you vet them and how particular you are about, who's going to come in and take care of your clients. But let's talk about some of the services. I mean, from the smallest things, let's start there. If somebody's thinking, my mom's at home by herself all day, I really wish somebody could, get her lunch or something like that.
Yeah. So it usually starts with, things like medication reminders, making sure that they're taking the meds, and then helping them with light housekeeping. It's usually one of the first things, that people just can't keep up on. I don't know if maybe some people are like my mom and still have the old Kirby vacuum that's way too heavy, but, so we go in and do the kind of light housekeeping work. And a lot of times, it's meal preparation. So not only make them while we're there, we'll make them lunch, but we can make the dinner and have it set up where all they need to do is reheat it or something like that. So, a lot of it is medication reminders, light housekeeping, meal preparation. And that's usually where it starts. And then, like all of our journeys, we don't get younger, right? And so, it tends to progress. Maybe they'll have some kind of incident, and then all of a sudden we have to start helping them with showering and personal grooming and things like that. But the nice thing about starting early is all of a sudden now the caregiver, you're more comfortable with them. It's not like a stranger's coming into my home. And so, we get a lot of folks that, are kind of resistant at first. Mm-hmm. And so what I always usually try and tell family members, because that's normally who we get a call from, is usually the oldest daughter or son. And, we talk to them about, hey, my mom and dad really don't think they need this, or mom doesn't feel like she needs it. But we do as family members, and would make us feel better. And so we tell them, start slow. And one of the nice things, again, that I didn't like about the care that my mom got was a lot of times there's these weekly minimums where, you need to use us for 8 hours a week, 20 hours, 30 hours a month. We're not like that. So,
that's good.
We have no weekly or monthly minimums. So start small, let's try and make a connection. And then as the need grows, we'll be there for you, right? But trying to do it after something happens, someone's fallen and there's broken a hip, never met them before, and now all of a sudden we need to come in and help them with bathing and those kind of things. It's a little bit harder. So start slow.
And I would also say, you were talking about being picky for the caregivers, and I would imagine that there are clients who are picky as well. They can change their mind, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. And, we''ve had that. We do a great job of matching, but it's not always perfect, right? Mm-hmm. It's like personalities anywhere else in the world. And so, but we tell the client and we tell the caregiver, hey, if there's not a match here, the caregiver, if you're not enjoying going to work and helping this person, let us know. Mm-hmm. Same thing, client. Like if you're, that you're not happy about this caregiver coming because maybe, simple things like they talk too much or, whatever, right? Let us know and we'll change it out. And, we won't hurt anybody's feelings. We'll just move them to a new client where it's a better match. And so, it's a lot about, it's human dynamics, just making sure that we have the right pairing.
I'd have to have somebody who loves sports, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we have a lot of folks that want that.
Yeah, because you want to be able to talk about your team or watch games together, like you were saying about the World Series. And so if you are looking at something maybe a little more steady and serious, I'll put it that way, but you have that opportunity as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of our caregivers that actually get some overtime, right? Because they're working so many hours and we have enough work for them. And so, again, tell us what you want to do. Do you want to work overnights? Do you just want to work a couple days a week? And we'll try and match you with the right pairing. And for those who are, out there listening and thinking, hey, how do I learn more? You can go to our website, which is Canton Akron shs.com. So it's Canton Akron, shs.com. And on there, there's like a thing that you click on, either I want to help for potential caregivers, and you can fill out a simple application, or I need help. And it's a simple form that'll come to us, and we'll give you a call right away. So that's
easy.
probably the easiest way to just go onto our website. You can also call our phone number. My wife, Robin, will answer. It's 330-806-8044.
Now, you mentioned it was a franchise, and you were looking at franchises and trying to figure out what's the history of seniors helping seniors?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's super interesting. I think this is one of the things that made me fall in love with it, too. So Kiram Yokum started the franchise, and she worked for Mother Teresa over in India for 14 years. And her to-be husband, Philip, came over there on business. They fell in love, and they decided they were going to move back to Pennsylvania. Well, she has tremendous. We were just at our national convention. She had great stories about Mother Teresa. I wish I had time to tell them all. But the one thing she said was when she decided she was going to move back to Pennsylvania with Philip, was Mother Teresa, knowing, how seniors are treated in the United States compared to India. In India, there's just the culture is just to take care of your elders, right? You worship them, and it's all about the family. United States, we're not as great at that, right? And so Mother Teresa knew that. So she told Karen, when you go to the United States, you take care of seniors. And, when Mother Teresa tells you to do something, you do it, right?
Yes.
And so that's how she started. And she went back to a little town in Pennsylvania, started recruiting seniors. And what she found was those seniors are retired at home, kind of bored, looking for something to do, wanting to give back. So she recruited seniors and started matching them with seniors in the community who needed help. And this thing has just grown from there. That simple idea has blossomed. There's 250 franchises around the United States today. There's even some franchises in Asia, India, and Europe. So it's that idea has just kind of blossomed and grown.
And how easy. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, you go, duh.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's a great thing. And just off subject, Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa, I actually got to see in person because she was, believe it or not, the commencement speaker.
Oh, really?
At my brother's college graduation. He graduated. It was the College of Steubenville back there. It's now Franciscan University.
Yeah.
In Steubenville, but she was the commencement speaker.
Yeah.
And
amazing
she was
woman.
An amazing woman,
Yeah.
and was just awesome to sit and listen to. And I can only imagine working for her.
Yeah.
For
14 years. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would just be awesome. And to have her say to you, help seniors.
Yeah.
That's like your calling. Then it becomes your calling,
Yeah.
right?
I'll tell one story.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they were on a flight from India to, I think it was Chicago, and Mother Teresa told Karen, because they were getting ready to serve the meals, and Mother Teresa told Karen, get up and ask all the people in first class, because they don't need that meal. Ask them to save that meal, and then when we get to Chicago, we'll give it to people who need, fed, the hungry.
Oh my God.
And so, Karen was like, Mother, I can't go do that. Those people paid for those meals. And she goes, if you don't do it, child, I'll go do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so Karen got up and she went and talked to all the people, and they knew that Mother Teresa was on the plane because they had made an announcement. So everyone in first class was like, okay, I'll forego my meal. And so Karen came back. She's like, oh, thank goodness, that went better than I thought. And she goes, now, child, go tell everyone in the regular
seats.
Yeah.
To do the same thing.
Yeah. And they did too. And so when they got, she tells the story, it's a lot longer. I'm abbreviating it. But when they got to Chicago, there was someone there. They had already arranged for someone to come up pick those meals. She knew this before she even got on the plane. She was going to do this. And so when they got there was someone there to get all those meals, and they took it to a shelter.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's just like the
I hope it
compassion
was
that she has.
Good airline food.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take our break for the news, and we'll come back. Of course, you're listening and watching Spotlight, Seniors Helping Seniors, right here on 1480 WHBC.
At Seniors Helping Seniors of Canton Akron, we match active, caring seniors with older adults who need a helping hand. Whether it's companionship, light housekeeping, rides to appointments, or just a friendly face. If you are searching for truly reliable, compassionate care for yourself or a loved one, call Seniors Helping Seniors Canton Akron at 330-806-8044 or visit CantonAkronSHS.com to learn more.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
Listen to the Kenny and JT Show here on 1480 WHBC for exclusive Pro Football Hall of Famer interviews presented by Akron Auto Auction as part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame residency program. Score big with AkronAutoAuction.com, a driving force in the industry.
Having a tough time paying your bills? Learn how to reduce your credit card debt to a fraction of what you owe. Call the Debt Helpline now for free advice. 800-329-9912. 800-329-9912.
Ferndale Water Experts has all your water softener salt needs. And right now, for a limited time, our Morton brand water softener salt is $1 off per bag.
Ferndale's Water Center. Tap into
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, the official death toll in Jamaica from Hurricane Melissa has now increased to 45, with the numbers being confirmed by Jamaican officials. The southwest parish of St. Elizabeth has the highest number of related deaths, with 18. Officials say they do believe that that number may go up as they continue to search for people. President Trump claims the U.S. economy is as strong as it's ever been and dismisses the polls showing public anxiety about the economy as fake. Meanwhile, the White House economic team is divided, with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and White House Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett acknowledging there are sectors of the U.S. economy that are in a recession and that the job market is softer than preferred. Hyundai has sent out an alert to millions of customers concerning a hack at the company that happened last February and March. They don't know why it's taken so long for the company to announce it, but for 9 days, the hackers reportedly had free access before finally being detected. Infiltrators had potential access to full names of customers as well as their social security numbers and driver's license information. Stephen Vogt has been named the American League Manager of the Year for the second year in a row. A wild ending to the Cleveland Guardians season led to his winning the ballot. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Today will bring a mix of sun and clouds with a moderate breeze, but it won't be as cold with a high reaching 46. Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies and breezy conditions with a low of 32. Tomorrow will feature a blend of clouds and sunshine with a high of 48. Friday will see partial sunshine with a high of 52, while Saturday is expected to be mostly cloudy with temperatures reaching 60. With the AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And we are back on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC, and you can find us live on Facebook right now, also live on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out. And also you can rewatch this again if you missed any of it on our website at WHBC.com. Under the Listen tab, you'll find us. And I have Jim Benson, owner and president of Seniors Helping Seniors, with me, and we've been talking about a lot of different things. But let's kind of go through what's the process like for somebody who says, okay, maybe I want to do this for my parent.
Yeah.
Get some help for a parent or an aunt or an uncle or something like that. How do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so they can go to our website or give us a phone call. Usually, we'll answer any questions they have because, usually when you're trying to find care for a loved one in their home, it's usually, a pretty challenging time.
Yeah.
It's a little bit scary. You're opening up your home to someone. So we spend a lot of time answering questions, talking about how we vet and background check all of our caregivers. So usually it starts with that conversation, and then we'll set an appointment where my wife and I will come into the home, get to meet the family. We've even Skyped family in, Zoomed them in if they needed to because they lived out of town.
Yeah.
And just have a conversation in the home. We check out the home because we want to make sure it's safe for the caregivers, right? And also safe for the clients. We've, gone in and here, looked at the bathroom and they need to put up, some handrails and, have a shower seat. So we check out the home and try and help them make sure that everything's safe. Really get to know them, let them get to know us, feel comfortable. And then we talk about the care plan. What is it you're looking for? We try and suggest things, try and figure out how we can make it, as economical as possible for them. But, we know after talking to them, do you just need a 3-hour shift? Or is this more like, you're going to need people here all day because, of all the things we need to do? So we really try and help out the care plan, think about the number of hours that they're going to need, days of the week. And that allows us to go and find the right caregiver for them. So that's really kind of the process. And then once we never just send the caregiver, either my wife or I will go back and make an introduction because now they know us, they feel comfortable with us, and we make an introduction to the caregiver and we stay for a while, make sure that the caregiver is comfortable, know exactly what they need to do. And that's kind of how it starts off.
And that really is, I think the biggest part of it is just like you said, opening your home to somebody, trusting them with your loved one. Yeah. That can be a big step for people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny because, at first people are a little bit nervous, but next thing you know, I'm talking to the caregiver. Yeah, they gave me the keys to the house. That way, if they're asleep, I can come in and start. Yeah, I mean, that's what we want is people to get comfortable, become, to the point where they feel that way.
Because you hear horror stories.
You do, yeah.
Yeah. About a lot of different things.
And that's why, because we're with a license in the state of Ohio with the Ohio Department of Health, we also carry liability insurance. We're bonded. You have to have all of that in case something happens. I always give the example if someone's making a toasted cheese and lights the kitchen on fire, we're liable. So you can come back and Seniors Helping Seniors will help you pay for whatever damage that the caregiver did. So, that's never happened. Thank God.
That's good.
Knock on wood. Yeah, that's right. But, it's good peace of mind. And that's one of the things, some people will hire, somebody that they met that says they do home care, but that person's not insured, licensed, and bonded. And, have they had a background check? Do you know all about them? So, there's some fear there of trying to hire people privately versus going to an agency.
Yeah, and like you said at the beginning when we first started talking, many times you end up with somebody not showing up, changing their saying, yeah, I'm not going back there, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah, we just had a client start with us. Dad is in a memory care unit, and he's a wanderer and tries to escape. And so the unit told the daughters, like, you need to have someone here because we just can't, handle it with our staff. And so, she was trying to find people privately on her own, but it was, people would cancel. And then all of a sudden the nursing home was calling her upset, and so she finally just called us and, we take care of all of that. So we make sure that someone's always there. If someone calls off, Annette doesn't even know about it. We show up and we take care of things. So.
And that's good to know. So if somebody, maybe if they're in a nursing facility, or you will go there too.
Yeah. We go to a lot of, assisted living, a lot of independent living too, so, they want to stay in independent living as long as they can before they have to progress to assisted living. We'll come in and help them make sure that they stay in independent living. We help with memory care units. A lot of times the family member knows that, the staff isn't always, able to give a lot of individual care to each client. And so we'll come in and, we'll get them ready in the morning, take them to the events, maybe over on the assisted living side. So, we do a lot to help inside of homes as well.
So what do you see as the biggest challenge for people when they're, trying to navigate this whole thing?
Yeah, I think, obviously it's not free. And so you need to figure out how you're going to pay for it. So we take, I would say maybe 15% of our clients have long-term care insurance through someone like a Genworth or Bankers Life or something like that. So we do help them, make sure that they can get reimbursed by their insurance policy. Also, if they're a veteran, they may have VA benefits. So it's one of the questions we go in when we talk to them, like, were you a veteran or was your spouse a veteran? Because we can help them get some money to help pay for this. Obviously, if they make, under the minimum amount, they can also qualify for Medicaid, and Medicaid can come and help take care of it. So, the first kind of hurdle is, how are we going to pay for this? Fortunately in this area, we're pretty good economically, so a lot of our families can afford private pay. And so that's probably 80% of our clients. But there again, that's why you really need to think through, how many hours do you need us? And so we go through that. But I'd say, one of the biggest hurdles is just getting awareness that, our services are out there.
Yeah.
And then getting the senior in need to accept the help, right? Because a lot of times they're resistant. There's a lot of proud people out there. I'm sure I'll be the same way. It's like, I don't need help yet, So, that's, again, kind of going back to, that's why we encourage folks to start small. Maybe it's just a couple hours once a month, but they get to know the person, and all of a sudden it's like, it's pretty nice when they come in and, they make me a meal or, do whatever. And, they kind of can grow from there.
And you feel comfortable. They feel comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
And I have seen, instances where maybe they know they need the help, but they're embarrassed about asking for the help.
Yeah. One of the things that we coach our caregivers, because, our mission is to help keep these seniors in their home as long as possible, the dignity and respect they deserve. And so with that mission, when we go into a home, especially when they're not comfortable with us, if we need to make a meal, we coach our caregivers, like, ask them if they have a recipe, ask them if they would like to sit in the kitchen and help. Maybe they want to be the sous chef. It's not about just coming in and taking over and like, okay, I'm going to make you this meal. I make this. So
here, you get this cheeseburger and that's it. Yeah.
It's true engagement and connection. The same thing, if you need to do the bathroom floor, maybe they want to wipe off the sink, So really trying to make sure it's not like taking over. It's like helping.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good approach, because that sure eases things for people when you approach them like that.
You come in and try and take over, and all of a sudden, it just doesn't work out.
No, I will say this from personal experience, and my mom's 90, going to be 91. She lives with me, and we go through the same things. She doesn't want me to tell her what to do, and I don't want to tell her what to do.
Exactly.
She's my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
When you want to help somebody, there's a way to approach it, and I think you guys have a really good way of doing that.
And I think I was telling you off air, one of the things we found with my mom's caregiver, Ruby, my mom will listen to Ruby and is nicer to Ruby than she is to my sister and I. She's in later stages of dementia, so like she is almost to the point where she's kind of defiant to us. But Ruby will come in and she smiles, and Ruby will say, "Come on, Janet, we're going to go take our shower." And my mom gets up and goes, and my sister and I are looking at each other like, how did that just happen?
How did she get her to do that? Yes, exactly. It's funny.
It is, yeah.
Funny how people think about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if folks are interested, they want to start this process, find out, how it'll all work and, the cost and all that kind of stuff. How do they go about doing that?
Yeah, the easiest way is to give us a call, 330-806-8044. Or you can go to our website, and on there's a little form that, you just click, hey, I need some help, and ask you a couple questions, and then we'll pick up the phone and give you a call. So our website is CantonAkronSHS.com. SHS is for Seniors Helping Seniors.
SHS, CantonAkronSHS.com.
That's right. Yeah.
Very easy. Very good. All right. We'll take our final break and come back and kind of go over things again. We'll review everything we've been talking about with Jim Benson, the owner and president of Seniors Helping Seniors, right here on 1480 WHBC.
At Seniors Helping Seniors of Canton Akron, we match active, caring seniors with older adults who need a helping hand. Whether it's companionship, light housekeeping, rides to appointments, or just a friendly face. If you are searching for truly reliable, compassionate care for yourself or a loved one, call Seniors Helping Seniors Canton Akron at 330-806-8044 or visit CantonAkronSHS.com to learn more.
In 1966, Al and Lucy Hosner founded Carpets by Hosner, selling and installing only carpet. Today, their sons, Stan, Joe, and Terry Hosner, have carried on the family tradition by offering carpet, luxury vinyl, hardwood, area rugs, and installation. Do not make the mistake of thinking all flooring stores are the same. Stop in and see the professionals at Hosner Carpet One, across from Central Catholic High School in Perry Township. Or check them out online at HosnerCarpet1.com and read about the Hosner Carpet One difference.
MCTV makes it easy to connect to the people and life you love with Accelerate Fiber. With speeds up to 1 gigabit, you'll get reliability and service only your local provider can deliver. Want to connect your entire home? Add MCTV Whole Home Wi-Fi powered by Plume Home Pass and experience consistent connections for you and your entire family. Make the switch today. Visit mctvohio.com. MCTV, we go the extra mile.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything was easy? Primetime Health Plan is Medicare that's easy to choose and easy to use. Our local Medicare experts will make it easy to get you all the access to care you need. Call us at 330-363-7407 to get all the benefits you deserve. That's 330-363-7407. Medicare made easy with Primetime Health Plan.
Northeast Ohio knows football, and Sarshone Auto Group knows Northeast Ohio. As an official partner of the Cleveland Browns, Sarshone Auto Group serves our community with the best selection and the best service. From Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and more. From the toughest trucks to the SUVs that fit your family. Sarshone Auto Group, an official partner of the Cleveland Browns, and the place where Northeast Ohio comes to drive. Visit Sarshone.com.
When looking for the highest standard of HVAC service and care, turn to Reliable Heating and Cooling, your local Lennox Premier dealer. Premier dealer status means you are certain to be working with a company with the highest level of training, professionalism, and customer satisfaction. Right now, get up to $1,800 in rebates on a new Lennox system, plus receive up to $2,600 in federal tax credits. Call today at 330-833-2651 or visit ReliableHeatingandCooling.com to learn more. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
License number 19758.
Time is ticking and your dream home's waiting. This is Steve Struckle, mortgage loan originator at the Commercial and Savings Bank. We understand that buying a home can be overwhelming, but with CSB, it's easier than ever. We offer a range of options, whether you're looking to buy, build, refinance, or improve your home. Our mortgage lenders will guide you every step of the way. Visit our website at csb1.com to apply online today and turn your dream into reality. The Commercial and Savings Bank, where homeownership begins. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, our final segment of this Wednesday edition of Spotlight today, Seniors Helping Seniors, and owner and president Jim Benson is with us. And honestly, we've been talking so much about all the great things that you guys offer, but I think the way that you got into this has a lot to do with the way it functions now, and that it's important to you. And that means a lot, right?
Right.
So maybe explain again how you got into all of this.
Yeah, so, it was my mom. We got home care for my mother. And the process, it was the right decision because I remember going on tours with her to nursing homes and just seeing the tear in her eye. In fact, it's making me a little emotional right now just thinking about it. So we knew home care was where we wanted to go, but it didn't take too long until we saw the inconsistencies in quality of in-home care. Younger folks that just didn't connect with my mom. We had lengthy contracts. A lot of things that I didn't like, and everything I don't like, we changed. And so we really try and be different where we're just really flexible. We saw firsthand the impact that a senior can have when they're doing caregiving, the connections that can be made. And so we really strive for that. And so we've tried to make everything super simple. We have no weekly or monthly minimums, start small. We really spend a lot of time making the right match. So that it's like getting a little help from a friend. And I think that's why that's what we always strive for.
Yeah.
And, our goal is to make the seniors, be able to live independently for as long as they can. And we apply, you know, our golden rule where we would never send anyone into a home unless we'd be willing to send them into my mom or my wife's mom or father's house.
And when you talk about the connection and that kind of thing, when you have a senior helping senior, you have somebody who has an idea of what they're going through,
right.
And can really kind of, you know, empathize with them, right?
That's right. And, you know, they just have more of a history they can share together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got a lot of folks that love to watch, you know, Gunsmoke and, you know, things like that, you know, I grew up watching as well. And our caregivers did too. So, you know, it's things that you can enjoy together, talk about, have memories about, you know, be able to talk about things that, you know, the way Canton used to be when we were younger and things like that. And so it just makes more of a real connection that we found is just profound.
And you've mentioned several times in the hour that we've been on about starting small. Why is that a good thing? And also, what kinds of things do you mean by starting small?
Yeah, so starting small can be just even basic companionship. But a lot of times, you know, folks just don't feel like they need help. They don't, you know, they're still able to do most of the things. Yeah, it's getting harder for them. And I think, you know, a lot of times the daughter or the son is worried because they're at work. They have their own kids, their own lives. They don't have enough time to spend with mom or dad. And so the family wants someone to come in there and help. And that way they have security knowing that mom or dad is safe. But mom or dad are still like, I don't need that yet. And so if you can go in and help them with like, hey, mom, I noticed that, you know, getting down to clean the floors is really hard for you. You know, I would rather when I come over, yeah, I could clean the floors, but I'd rather spend time with you. And so if we could have an agency come in and maybe just, you know, once a month, clean the floors, you know, maybe while they're here, you know, make you a meal, you know, something like that you can put it in the freezer and, you know, use it when you want. Starting small like that helps them get to know the caregiver, kind of build a relationship, and allows them to kind of, you know, be there if something does happen and you need more care. Okay, we have an EAS right now, Nick. We have an EAS right now, so. As soon as it's done, we'll come back. Okay.
Well, we can still, unless you want to continue
on air.
You're still on Facebook and YouTube Live.
Well, they're hearing this, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it cut our mics. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll resume discussion as soon as it's done. Should be done.
Go with the flow.
Okay. All right, we're back after that little message, an emergency message, which is always important. But and we were saying, you know, starting little and starting small with people really helps acclimate them, right?
That's right. Yeah, get them used to the caregiver, and you know, all of a sudden it starts, you know, not feeling like intrusion, but just, you know, looking forward to someone coming and getting a few things done. And what we find is some of the people that tell us, you know, I really don't need them to do much, you know, and we agree on one thing. Next time, you know, they come, they have a whole list of things, you know, they want to do. And, you know, a lot of it starts out, too, with just transportation because, again, sometimes there's, you know, it's hard to find transportation, especially if you're a senior who doesn't drive anymore. And so our caregiver can come, pick you up, take you to the doctor, and then after you're done with the doctor's visit, they stay, they take you. You can go stop by the grocery store and then go home, and, you know, maybe they could even help you, you know, make a meal out of the groceries you just bought. So that's another way to start slow is through utilizing transportation services.
And you vet all your employees, and you said you're very picky about who you choose.
Absolutely. So we have to look at 7 different websites to see if they're an offender in anywhere. And then we also do fingerprinting, background checks. And if they haven't lived in the state of Ohio for 5 years and can prove that, then they also have to get an FBI check as well. So we really vet them and, you know, take them through a lot of interviews and make sure that, you know, this is someone we really feel comfortable with.
Yeah, and you get a good grip on their personality too, right?
That's right. Yeah, we spend a lot of time trying to understand, you know, when you're outside of work, what do you like to do? You know, what kind of interests you? We learn about their personality, and you know, and then that helps us match them with the senior.
Yeah, if they hate playing cards, they should not go to a card player's house, right?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, or sports, like I had mentioned before. You want to make sure. And so, again, the process, if someone is interested in, even if they're interested in becoming a caregiver or interested in getting some help, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, probably the easiest way is to go to our website, which is CantonAkronSHS.com, once you get to our website, there's a little thing that you can click on, say, I need help or I want to help. And so for a caregiver, you can click on I want to help. And there's a simple, like, I think it's 4 questions or something like that application. And then, you can, if you go through those questions and you get a time to set up an interview, and then we'll go through the interview process. So it's pretty easy. And then if you need help, it's simple. You fill out a few things with your phone number, and my wife or I will give you a call back and talk about what it is you need and, answer any questions you have on the process. Because the process, the first time you go through this, it's like, do I want to do this?
Yeah. Do you feel bad? Do you feel guilty? You have, a lot of questions and honestly, probably scared.
Yeah. Yep.
But,
the most fulfilling thing for me is seeing people kind of go through that process, and all of a sudden they're telling me how great the caregiver is and so happy that they found them. And, you can read some of our reviews online. We just get a lot of positive comments about our caregivers and how it's helped them, improve the family dynamics. And one interesting thing, Pam, is 69% of the people, when they're asked why they, ended up putting someone into a facility, it's not so much that their condition worsened, but it was because of burnout. The family gets burnout. All of a sudden, like I was talking about with my mom, the dynamics between are hard. And it just kind of gets to be too much, and you just get burnt out. And so that's what a lot of, admissions into facilities and things like that are just because of that. So we can come in and help make sure we give respite care and you don't experience that burnout.
Yeah, and you can help them through the process of navigating all of this.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah, and, and as I talked about earlier, navigating, how do you pay for this too, And so we can help you think through, do you have long-term care insurance? Do you qualify for VA or Medicaid? And, we'll help try and figure out to make it as affordable as possible for you.
All right. Well, we are on Facebook right now. Also, our YouTube channel. You can find this whole entire interview at WHBC.com. We'd love for you to check it out. Again, thank you, Jim Benson, owner and president of Seniors Helping Seniors. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Pat. At Seniors Helping Seniors of Canton Akron, we match active, caring seniors with older adults who need a helping hand. Whether it's companionship, light housekeeping, rides to appointments, or just a friendly face. If you are searching for truly reliable, compassionate care for yourself or a loved one, call Seniors Helping Seniors Canton Akron at 330-806-8044 or visit CantonAkronSHS.com to learn more.